Good morning. I'm so glad you guys could all come here today. More than 5,000 children were reported missing after Hurricane Katrina, and it took 7 months for all of those families to be reunited. In the aftermath of Katrina, more than 300,000 children were displaced to new schools. FEMA has 103 disaster declarations recorded for the year 2016 alone, and children accounted for approximately 1/2 of all peoples affected. The psychological effects of disasters such as Katrina are still not entirely known, but what professionals do know is that children react differently to disasters than adults. While most of us as adults would agree that the statement knowledge is power is applicable, not all of us might understand that this applies to children as well. Teaching children about hazard risks and disaster preparedness is a vital aspect of keeping our communities functioning. Having the proper tools to teach children in an age-appropriate manner is key to success, although having these tools will only be effective if the training occurs. So why does it matter? In 1985, Whitney Houston released a song titled "The Greatest Love of All." And in that song, the famous line, "The children are our future." That alone is reason enough that we should have our children being prepared for disasters. Studies by J.M. Vigil and colleagues showed in a study after Katrina that children, boys and girls, react differently to the stressors of disasters. Boys tend to exhibit more aggression and girls tend to exhibit more depression. And so one of the keys to disaster preparedness is mitigation. Mitigation is just the preparedness, the effects of looking into what we can do to minimize the effects of disasters. And adults have these tools and we use them. So resources that are already available are through different organizations. FEMA has a youth preparedness program. It has activities and curriculum that can be used by youth to get the knowledge and power that they need. Youth Preparedness Council also is a part of the FEMA organization, where they actually get together and they have conversations and they take into account what the youth think about what should be taught. FEMA has a student tool for emergency planning, short STEP. We love acronyms. STEP is one of them. It's a classroom curriculum for grades 4 and 5. It has a supply list that these children can use to build an emergency kit at home. It has a family planning. There are teen CERT teams, community emergency response teams. There are adult CERT teams as well, but they also have them for teens. The American Red Cross has the Ready Family. They have Mickey and Friends Disaster Preparedness Activity Books. The CDC Office of Public Health and Preparedness also has books. Ready Wrigley Activity Book for Children's. Then we have people in our community that write books. We have people like Kermit Jones Jr., who has written a book called Prepper Pete Prepares. He also has other books and resources. Prepper Pete's Be Prepared, a Be Ready book for kids. Great thing about books like these are they are kid-friendly, they have great illustrations, and they really get down to a level where children in elementary school age can understand what is going on. So what needs to happen now? Parents and schools need to find the tools that are right for their situation and use them. We need to get our communities involved and on board. Ways that we can do that. Save the Children has lots of resources available. This example right here is a guide for parks and recreation professionals. Most communities have a park and recreation department. So if we get our parks and recreation departments involved and they create classes that are appropriate for school-age children, and they get together and they do things like explain why they're doing this program. If you explain to children in the very basic terms, they will get it. A lot of times adults assume that children can't possibly fathom the results or they can't look to what a disaster is. That's not true. We just have to bring it to a level that they can understand. There are things like the Sendai framework from the Save the Children organization. Also, again, like the Prep Repeat books, comes in with great illustrations and activities that you can have your children doing that will just get them the information that they need. So, in conclusion, the tools are available. As parents, teachers, and leaders in the community, it is our responsibility to find the appropriate tools and to use them now. One of the easiest disaster risk reduction measures we can take is to empower children and youth and ensure they are actively involved in disaster risk reduction and contribute to making their cities and communities resilient to disasters. Denying them this right would be denying them from influencing their own future. Margaret Wallstrom, former Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for Disaster Risk Reduction. Thank you for coming.